Hello everyone, Bertina Amy here, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I thought I would do an updated Dollar Tree DIY Cancer Dragon Wreath. And have you heard that I'm now offering heartfelt t-shirts? Stay tuned till the end of the video for details. Okay, so I have this wreath form from the Dollar Tree, and I bought this before the price increases, and honestly, I've only seen this being sold at one of my Dollar Trees. Let me know in the comments below if you ever see these at your local Dollar Tree. I'm sure you could still buy them elsewhere, but you won't get them at the $1.50 price or $1.75, whatever it is at this point. Anyways, I want to do an updated version of the Cancer Dragon Wreath, so I want to try adding wire connecting one of the sides. So I'm thinking from this side to this side, that way I can wrap going across a little bit easier. So I thought the best way to do that would be to take some scrap stems from my stash here and just try to cut off with my wire cutter here, and using this to just go from this side to this side and this side to this side. And these don't bend that well. They bend a little bit, but I don't think they're gonna wrap around. Well, maybe they will. But even with the wrap around, I'm still gonna add zip ties to keep it into place. So ooh, okay, I don't want that. So that's not totally perfect, but it gets the job done. And this one's going to be a bit trickier because it's a curved edge, but it won't stay in place until I add some zip ties. So okay, let's see. Okay, and then this I'm just going to curve backwards because I don't want it sticking out. Okay, grab my zip ties. All right, so let's see, hopefully this will do the trick. All right, I'll cut these off at the end. Let me grab the whole bag here. And then this one I want over here, but I'm not sure how I'm going to get that to stay. Editor Bertina here. So instead of using zip ties to hold the wire to itself after the wraparound to attach it to the wreath form, instead, if you have black electrical tape, use that instead. Then you can use the zip ties to keep the wires into place so that you would actually wrap it next to the wire that attaches itself to the wreath form itself. I hope that makes sense, because that would have proved helpful for me had I done that, so that way as I was wrapping, I don't accidentally shove the wire at an angle and then make it so that I can't even use it, and you'll see that later on in this video. Let me go ahead and cut these off because they're kind of in my way. Okay, so I'm gonna zip tie this to itself actually. I don't want it popping up as much as it is. Okay, and then this one, so that one's not, yeah, that one's not going to move, so that's the important thing. This one, I think I'm going to go here. And then I want these to be not poking out, so I'm pushing them inward. And I don't know that this is holding. I think because that's not gonna stay in there very well. It needs to be, for this edge, for some reason I was able to get away with it here a little easier, I guess. But I don't know how well that's gonna stay either. I think the best bet is to make sure that see, this already comes off. This one's fine. This one. This one's iffy. I think I'm gonna do another one here. Let's just do that really quick. It's more important that we zip tie the edges to itself more than anything, just because otherwise it could come undone. And we don't want that while we're ribbon wrapping. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna have to undo that one and redo it. This one is fine as is. All right. I'll fix this and come right back. Okay, so off camera, I just went ahead and put a zip tie here and then just cutting that off. So now I have the bridge to wrap around these sections. And just in case, because this still feels like this one can move, I'm going to put another one here really quick. So the most important ones are the ones where the bend is at with the wire, but they're sturdy. They're just, you don't want them sliding. And I don't have the ability to melt wire together, so this is my method. Plus, indoors you don't want to be doing that anyway, because I'm sure that's probably not good to be breathing in. You would need the proper supplies and all that jazz. So also I noticed this broke on me, but that's not going to be a problem anyway. And I went across this way, but then actually I think to be on the safe side for the back, I think I should go across this way. Okay, so here's the back. It's not perfect, but it works. I use this safety pin to poke and undo and redo kind of thing. So just so you know, but we don't have time to go into that. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my ribbons. Okay, so I'm gonna use these ribbons. They're from Amazon because I just don't have time to order from Temu for this project. I need it done by a certain date, so I'm going to go ahead and use these. But you can certainly get a more affordable version off of Temu if you'd like. But I know they don't sell them at Dollar Tree. And like I said, if you want to find something like this, you could probably find them on anywhere online, like Walmart or whatever. I don't know that I've ever seen it in store, though. Most likely you'll have to have it shipped to you. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and open these. Figure out where I think that's it. Let's see. There we go. There's that one. And it's not likely I'm going to need all of this ribbon. These are 10 yards. So this will be more than enough. Same brand. And I wanted 2 shades of purple for my ribbon wrapping method. So I'm going to go ahead and take these both off the spool. Okay, so here is my ribbon. I've also hot glued one to the other. I'm going to turn this around this way because I like seeing where I'm going to attach it over here so I can cross over this way where I made the bars, or the extra bars, should I say. And let's see, I think I'm going to do, so the goal is always to make sure to get the ribbon through. I think we'll do it like that so that the middle or midsection is sort of covered by this middle point or whatever. Then we're going to wrap the purple around through here. There we go. Okay, that way we have those edges covered. Then I'm going to pull the lavender through here, and I'm going to manipulate the dark purple around so that the fold is still facing me, and I'm going to pull this all the way through. Okay, and then let's see here. So this is going to go right over the left. So right over the left, and I'd like to try and use my newest method. So this means that the lavender is going to go under the bar on the left and go wrapped around and over, and then the one on the that's going to the right is just going to simply go over. So let me pull this through. All right, so this is where we're at, and we're just going to go around the bar on the right, over and around the bar on the right, and pull this through. All right, so then we're going to go right over the left. So like this. Okay. And then the dark purple is going to go under. All right, so we're going again under and around, over and around, and I'm going to come back when we reach this for the moment of truth. All right, so here's the moment of truth. I've got the lavender wrapped around here, like so. I think this is going to work. Even if it's not perfect, it's just something for the ribbon to grab onto. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process of what I was doing, and I'm not going to worry about any gaps. Okay, so really quick, as I come across the curve here, it's starting to give larger and larger gaps. To avoid this, what I'm going to do is, even though this looks nice and neat, I'm going to squish it and go around and pull through before this bar. So basically pull through here. Okay, so this is where I pulled it through here, and then that way I can do, let's see, so then this will go towards the right, and then I can go one more time under to prevent the wide gaps. I hope that's making sense. But basically we're going to repeat that to ensure that everything gets covered, and as we go through this curve, it'll squish over here, and you know what? That is totally fine. I think it looks cool that way. But I'm going to go ahead and repeat that to get to the crossover. Okay, we're coming up on another moment of truth here. So I thought I'd go ahead and bring the camera back on. I'm just pulling in one last time through this gap. All right, so now we've got this I don't want seen, so I'm going to just go there. This one needs to go in this gap one more time. Okay, so now we have this as a dilemma where I'm going to want this to go over here and to the back. And this part should have no issues going through here, but it's going to feel tight at first. So I'm just going to poke through and pull through. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the front, and this is what the back looks like. And we can take these, and it looks like, unfortunately, my bar got moved and I didn't realize it. So I'm going to bring the purple one down across this way. The lavender one down across this way. All right, and so for the actual purple one, there's a couple of options. Honestly, I think it's totally safe to not worry about this one. If yours was going straight this way, you can wrap around there, but I think it's totally safe to just go ahead and go under here. Okay, so then now we have pieces like here, and then let's look at the front so that the purple can actually go around as though nothing's changed. And then the lavender, so we do, it would have been, we'll pull this through first. All right, so this can go under the bar on the left. And then because the purple is back here, or I'm sorry, I keep saying purple, lavender is back here, we can actually go ahead and start integrating it by pulling it through here. And then this would go, of course, around like so. And then lavender, I'd like for the lavender to pull through this way first. And then we would go ahead and repeat our pattern like before until we get to the end. All right, so here I am coming up on the ends here, and this would just go over like this, and the right would cross over the left. And all I'm going to do is flip it around like so. And I'm just going to add some hot glue about here. And then grab a clip and clip it. And then kind of want to repeat that with this side, but let's do, you know what? I think I'm going to do it like this. So I'm just going to add hot glue here and then pull it over, grab another clip and clip it. Then let that cool, and then we're going to cut off the excess. All right, let's take these off, and then I'm just going to trim it there, and then trim this there. And let's see how this looks from the front. I still have quite a bit of ribbon left, but that's fine. So here's the front, and the ends look fine to me. So next is to embellish it. Okay, so to embellish this, I thought we would start with these dahlias from Dollar Tree. I absolutely love this color. And I thought I would kind of treat this very similar to how I did the phoenix wreath and use these florals because I think they're really pretty. I love this color. And I want to cut this in half to make sure I can use even more of it. So, like this. Like that. And then I don't really see the point of this plastic stuff, but anyway, just gonna add some hot glue to hold this together. And then I'm just gonna start like gluing this on the outside instead of using what I used last time. I'm just gonna, I already glued these pieces together, but I'm gonna glue them along here. So this is going in place of spikes along the spine of the dragon. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, it's just fine. I think this is really pretty. You'll have to let me know how this compares to the previous version I did. But we'll come back and gather the mask and the wings and kind of go from there. I'm going to have to let this sit overnight because I want to think about whether or not I want to add another set of flowers. I'm considering adding something like this. I would need another I would need to go buy some more though because I only have 3 of these, which means it would only give me 6. So if I did that, I would only be able to do these, but not these last 2. I hope that makes sense. So I'm considering it because I think that actually adds more depth and variety or something like that. I think that'd be really pretty. Just going all around there. So I'll come back and make a final decision on that. Okay, so these are the remaining pieces. I just put them together because I don't want to throw them out. I might use them in a future project, but I really don't need them to come apart and then have to like glue individual pieces because they're not even going to be seen behind this anyways. But I think they could look like they're blooming, just blooming type florals. So I'm going to save them for that. And I'm just going to use these pieces and cut these in half and then we're going to attach. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of this off camera. Okay, in my previous Cancer Dragon Wreath video, I actually never glued things permanently, but I ended up tying this on the back anyway because this elastic stuff does not accept hot glue, so it won't stay anyway. The best bet is to just tie a knot in the back. So I'm starting with the wings first because I think that would be the easiest. I'm repurposing the same pieces because I will do a side-by-side comparison and get your feedback. But I do feel I need more of the pink florals so I can get them down here, but I guess they're not totally required. We'll see. Either way, let me flip this around. We're not going to get a full view of this. I'm going to attach the tail off camera as well as the head. Feel free to check out the older video for how to attach if you want to recreate this project. Now, this is not going to want to go on the angle like this, so but that's totally fine, but there's no way to attach it in the other direction. If I do that, you're going to see the black elastic. I'd rather just do it this way. You could paint these, but I don't think I'm going to get around to doing that, so I'm probably going to just kind of leave them. And especially because even if I had the paints, I don't know that I'm going to perfectly cover it up with the right match, if that makes sense. But in either case, let me go ahead and get everything else attached, and then from here I can add, or on this side I can add, or this side, and then this side on this side I can add the flower thing as spikes as well. So I hope that makes sense. So anyway, I'm going to actually go ahead and do all of that off camera, and I'll be back with the final results. And here's the final result. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But you might want to just tie the elastics behind the wreath form itself instead of using the foam block. So now I'm excited to announce that I am currently selling personally designed t-shirts based off of my upcoming book, The Cancer Dragon. Here I'm unboxing some orders from coworkers who I'm very grateful to for supporting my mission. If you were to ask me honestly, the idea for this logo came from my DIY Cancer Dragon Wreath. My husband bought me a shirt once that said, "I kicked cancer's ass," but because of where I work, HR would have had a hissy fit over that, so I decided to design my own. To me, there's something to be proud of in becoming a Cancer Dragon Slayer, and I really hope my journey inspires you. I never planned on designing shirts for this, but as I kept creating and finding ways to express my life story, it just happened. I thought to myself, who else might love a shirt like this? On the back, the sayings are made for slayers, warriors, supporters, and even for honoring lost warriors. These shirts were created with all of you in mind, and I was so happy with the design that I wanted to make it available for anyone who feels connected to this journey. Okay, so here's the cover so far for my upcoming book. The basic gist of it is, I became diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, got pregnant during fertility treatments, refused to abort despite my doctor's warnings that I'd die at birthing my child. For book updates or to support me, scan the code or click the link below. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.